Good morning, everyone. Welcome to The Difference and Real Producers Live with Jordan Espeseth. Jordan is the creator of North DFW Real Producers. It is an incredible organization, networking organization of some of the top producing real estate agents in North DFW, as well as some of the industry support professionals that are really incredible. We've got a couple of those today. First, I'm going to bring in Jordan. What's up, my friend? You getting us all hooked up there on the watch party?
You know, I'm already I'm always like a minute behind on trying to get y'all tagged and everything. And so yeah, getting that watch party going. But I'm good, man. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Staying busy. We had yesterday was an incredible day for The Difference as far as our shows go. We had one at 11 yesterday morning. It was just hilarious. It was a real fun show. And then we had one yesterday. We're trying to raise some money for the victims of child sex trafficking. So we did a show yesterday at 3, and we actually had an ex-FBI agent that could not reveal his identity on the show because he's involved in the rescue of the victims. And man, it was really cool. But we're trying to raise money off of that show and help a lady that's going to donate in a contest she's in, 20 grand if she wins, to an organization that helps those victims. So it was a fun and then also kind of an emotional, man. When you hear those stories, it's just like wow.
And you said that was sex trafficking. You said,
yep.
Yeah.
And this guy works. His organization works globally, going in, just like a lot of special forces type people work with him, and they go in and rescue these people. I mean, it's kind of like the way he talked and described it, it's kind of like a movie. I mean, they're like living this movie every day where they're doing surveillance and going undercover and then going in and rescuing these these girls and kids and whatever it may be. But it's just unbelievable story from the front line.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. It's crazy. Our publishing company, the N2 company, they actually, I think it was $3 million they donated last year to foundations that help with sex trafficking. And so our company is really big into helping that cause because it's nasty, man.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I need to talk to them because we're going to do some more shows on it, try to bring some more awareness. And we're just, whoever is out there helping and involved, we want to interview them. And so maybe you can come on one of the shows and have them as well. Would that be really cool?
Yeah. Let's chat offline about that. We'll
do it. Hey, man, tell everybody, I told everybody a lot about Real Producers, but not as well as you. Tell them a little bit about that and then introduce your guests for today.
Yeah, I'm excited to bring on our guests, but again, briefly, for those who may not know, North DFW Real Producers, we are a national franchise. Well, Real Producers is a national franchise. We started 5 years ago. We're in over 100 markets nationwide, and I'm the owner of North DFW Real Producers, and the best one, of course. But what we do in each market is we build a community around the best producing real estate agents and best businesses in the market. So we have a monthly real estate publication that goes directly to the top 500 producing real estate agents in the market, where we share their stories and successes within Real Producers. And we also have our business partners, like a couple of the ones that we're bringing on today, that have all been recommended by the best producing real estate agents to be a part of the community. So we have best producing agents, best businesses, all working with the best. And we have, 3 to 4 events a year where we bring together the best producing agents and businesses. And so, it's a community that brings together, that facilitates relationships, that gives people a platform to connect. Connecting with real estate agents isn't very difficult, but getting in front of and talking with and meeting the best producing agents can be pretty challenging. And so I'm excited to bring on our guys from Roofing Reformation. What's interesting about them is that Rob Vaughn is actually in our top 500 as a top producing real estate agent, owns his own brokerage. And he's one of our partners, which we're super excited about, and his partner, Jeremy Morphus. So I'm super pumped to have these guys on. Guys, welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Good.
Excited to be here.
Awesome to have you. Awesome to have you. Jordan, you're right. What I really, when I got introduced to Real Producers, and just to give you a shout out, and everybody like Rob and Jeremy and all the people involved, once I got involved with it, what I started to see, and one of the things that we wanted to do with the show is kind of what you guys do, but in a different format, and that is highlight the people that make the difference in their industry, and that have found the commonalities of being a high achiever. And I say this every show, but you bring on some of the most stimulating people as far as conversation. They're smart. They built an incredible business, and they're hungry, and they're motivated, and they're driven. And that's the type of people we all want to do business with, right? Because not only does it help productivity, but it helps us level up. We're being challenged by those people every day because of how hard they're working to be better. And looking forward to get to know Rob and Jeremy a little bit better today as well.
Absolutely. So, Rob, Jeremy, the pressure's on. You guys must be stimulating. You must be engaging. You must be smart, or else we're going to boot you guys off. So,
well, yeah, Lendon just already set the standard, and so we didn't know that was the standard. Should we leave?
Not to put anybody on the spot or anything, but here we go. So, Rob, let's kick it off. Let's kick it off with you. I know that Jeremy's got a lot of input in this, but I want to talk a little bit, Rob, and let you talk about your company, how you got it developed, the connection between the real estate part and the roofing part. Talk a little bit about that, and we'll get into more with Jeremy once you're done with that.
Okay. You want me to just kind of retell that story then?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I've been in real estate as a realtor and now a broker since 2011. And as we've grown our business and added agents, and we're about 20 agents at this point. And I have a production team within my brokerage as well. And we do about within that team about 100. I think we're probably looking around 115 to 120 transactions in a calendar year. And so as that's grown, I knew I wanted to start a business that would feed into the real estate side, and the real estate would feed into that. And we looked at a couple different things, but at the end of the day, I realized, we replaced a lot of roofs, and I've been using Jeremy since about I first started. So at least since 2012, and knew that, I'd never had an issue, never had a customer, never had anybody have an issue with a roof or the service that they got with Jeremy. And so I happened to hit him at the right time, went and said, hey, what if we start a roofing company together? And it was a very easy conversation. It wasn't long drawn out sales process to Jeremy. He was all in. And so we started this. What was it? Was it October of?
I think it was August of last year. Mm-hmm.
August. Okay. So I was wrong. I really do suck at timelines, so I'm not. I got to ask my wife all the time when something happened, but so August last year. So I guess so. We've hit about a year because we just had to up our insurance.
Yep.
That's how you keep up with timelines, right?
Yeah. The insurance company calls and says you owe us more money. But yeah, it's been amazing. It's been a good deal for us, and our philosophy is a little bit different too. We're not storm chasers. We don't go knocking doors. We've not knocked on one door to try to get business. So we get our business because we connect well with realtors, and a lot of the realtors that work with us, they have customers within a transaction that find out they need their roof replaced, and so that's where a lot of that comes from, and then just personal relationships. So
right. Rob, how powerful is that as far as being in the real estate industry and owning a roofing company to be able to relate to those other realtors and know what they're looking for and what their expectations are and what they want to deliver for their clients as well? How valuable is that you have that understanding?
I think it's been helpful because there are some things that we can do within the transaction that I understand. And I don't know, let's call him Joe Blow roofer, doesn't. They don't know the ins and outs of the real estate transaction and the things that they can do, because sometimes a homeowner maybe doesn't have the money to take care of something, and the roofing company can't do it on their end because it's illegal. So they can't help out in things like that, where we can, on the real estate side, work through the transaction to help facilitate some need. And so the connection with a roofing company and a brokerage has been good, because I understand the brokerage piece, and Jeremy, he's your expert on the roofing piece. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's having said that, let's talk to Jeremy a little bit about roofing. Jeremy, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in the roofing industry, what you love about it, what you hate about it, if anything, and how this partnership with you and Rob's working out.
Yeah, so I've been in roofing probably, I guess it's been about 8-9 years. Right out of high school, I went off to the military, got out of the military and went straight to fire school. And then I was a firefighter up until February of this past year. I went ahead and decided to retire and do the roofing stuff full time. So like Rob was saying, I'd met Rob, probably 8 years ago when I was first getting into it, and I was working with a different company. And I was new at the time. So Rob, he kind of started sending me business, and I realized really quickly that when Rob calls, I need to be on top of it and take care of him, just because, as long as, and that's with anybody else. If you take care of them, they're going to keep calling you back, and Rob did. So the past year, I started to, decide that I kind of wanted to get out of the fire service and do this roofing thing on my own. And Rob and I talk all the time, so we decided to go ahead and do this together. We did see a need, especially with the realtors. Not all realtors have people that they can go to and trust and be able to provide a service, in a timely manner that they need it. Because
right,
you guys know that realtors, there's about 1 million things that they got to do for a transaction, and checking a roof is not, on the top of their list, and it's usually about a week before closing when they decide to do that. So we understand that, and that's why we know we don't want to hold up a closing due to a roof. So if a realtor calls us, then we're going to be on it the next day.
Yeah,
and we'll make it work. So roofing is an amazing. I love it. Obviously, I love it. I love the construction side of it. I love talking with people and seeing, the end product and things like that. The bad stuff, everybody knows that there are not so good, roofers out there.
Yeah.
So
there's not so good realtors out there.
Yeah. That's with every industry, but it's one of those deals where storm chasing, in the state of Texas, you don't have to be licensed to be a roofer. It's not like an electrician or something like that. So anybody can be a roofer. It doesn't matter. So big old hailstorm comes through Dallas and Fort Worth, then that's when you start seeing, minivans and
a Home Depot card and a hammer, right?
Yeah. I've seen a Honda Civic with a ladder on top of it before.
Oh my God.
I mean, seriously. So and then they start, knocking doors, and a lot of people don't like that, especially when you get 10, 15 different companies knock on your door in a day. And then there's always the stories of them coming in, taking your money and not getting the work done. So that's the bad part of roofing. And that's something that, we're not that, obviously.
Right.
And we do want to, and that's part of our name. We want to reform the industry and
Love it.
try to get people to where that's not the case anymore. So I think it's going to help out a little bit. State laws changed the past year to where you can't cover deductibles anymore, and that was the big thing. Everybody that was going to get a roof done, that was the first question they asked the roofers: do you cover deductibles? And so now that's completely illegal now, and which is a good thing, because that's
Right.
hopefully that'll take away some of these fly-by-night roofing companies, and you have, there's hundreds of great roofing companies here in the Metroplex, and allow us to shine and not, be grouped in with those guys.
Right.
Yeah, so
Well, Jordan, you kind of done it again, man. So these guys have struck a chord with me, the Roofing Reformation, and I love the fact that you guys are focused on having a positive impact in your industry, because we all kind of face that in whatever industry we're in. Sometimes we can get some black eyes, and especially if you're not regulated. How important, and Jordan, let me ask this question, and I'll let you go. But how important is it that you guys aren't storm chasers? You have that reputation, you have that brand, that the other agents really do trust you. I mean, how far does that go in a trust factor, knowing that you guys are not just out as a fly by night or coming out? It just is it really is. I mean, be honest, it's a bad look when a storm happens and somebody's just trying to get over the shock of what just happened to their home, and they're getting their door knocked on every 5 seconds by someone. So how is that played in as far as y'all's marketing and what you do? How valuable is that?
You got it, Rob.
Is that for me?
He said
your,
marketing, so he said marketing, so that cues you.
Oh, well, the thing is a lot of the there's not sometimes that shock of, oh my gosh, what just happened to my home, right? Most people, hailstorm comes through and there's no leaks, so they're good. And yet they get the knock on the door, and then the guy's on top of their roof. He's got his ladder all ready. I mean, they don't know this guy from Adam, and yet he's crawling up on the roof and swearing up, oh yeah, you got it. Your roof is destroyed. And they don't, nobody is emotionally attached to their roof.
True.
And so for real estate, that's the difference. In real estate, you're dealing with emotional attachment, and they, they've painted those walls and they've done the upgrades, and they could care less though about the type of shingle they got up there usually. And so that is why we've avoided that, because a lot of those people too, whenever they're knocking on doors, they do that roof and then they're gone and nobody ever remembers them. Jeremy, how many people do you talk to that call us for a repair? Hey, I think I got a leak, but my roof's only a year old.
Yeah.
And
I actually had one of those, I guess, a couple weeks ago when it rained, 6 inches or whatever. We were getting a lot of leak calls. And that was one of the questions I had with some of these people with the roof's only a year or two. And I would ask them, like, why didn't you call the roofer that put the roof on? And they're like, oh, well, I don't even know. I can't remember the name of the company, or something like that. And so that really cues in on us, is to make sure that we are, one, we do a good job and they're happy. That'll first, cause them to remember us, be impactful on the job, and then following up with them. Rob's, they're really good with sending out cards and things like that, and making sure that
we treat our roofing clients like we do our real estate clients. We reach out to them, we follow up, we send thank you cards.
Awesome.
We do all of it to try.
It's important to do that. These going storm chasers. I mean, obviously we're not storm chasers, but the majority of all of our business comes from storm damage typically.
Right.
In Dallas Fort Worth, if you get on a roof that's 20 plus years old, you kind of wonder, or you're kind of shocked, and
yeah, but it's
that's
a
just
roof. What?
do what?
I said, yeah, but it's a 30-year roof. What are you
Right. Yeah, it's a 30-year roof.
I got 10 more
Yeah.
years left.
Yeah. So
I'm curious, you guys, if there's like specific red flags, whether you're a real estate agent or you're, just a homeowner, what are some like red flags, when we talk about some of those fly-by-night roofers, like what are some things to like look out for? Just, maybe a 2 or 3 things, like if you notice this, like red flag. And then what are some also, so red flags, but also then on the other end, like what would you say are some things that are like positives, like, hey, make sure they have this, or, this, whatever it may be, the red flags and what to look for on the good side. Like what do you guys have for us on that?
Well,
I would say,
start?
yeah, you go ahead.
I'll let Jeremy talk about the details of this, but I'd say if they're knocking on your door in the first place, don't use them. I think a good roofer, and it doesn't have to be us, but a good roofer is going to be recommended. And so, since this audience is a lot of realtors, it's going to be, if you're a homeowner, you ought to trust your realtor, to help you make that call. If they knocked on your door, it's probably not going to be ideal. But anyway, Jeremy can.
Yeah. So the door knocking and things like that, to be honest with you, I mean, when I first started, we got a pretty big hailstorm in my neighborhood, and I did go door knocking. And even though I probably knew most of them and I've talked to them in the past, it was very uncomfortable for me to do that anyways. And there's other pest control companies and stuff like that do that. But I would say, if somebody comes to your door and knocks and they're a roofing company and you really like that person, he's a good salesman, don't do anything at that moment. Because a lot of times they are going to try to get you to sign a contract right then and there, and things like that. And don't do that. Do your research, do your homework on that particular company. Like I said, there's so many good roofing companies in the Metroplex, so many, and some of those probably send out people to door knock. And so, but you do your homework and get, do your homework, get on Facebook, see what their ratings are. Things like that. But I would say most people know somebody that knows somebody that does roofing,
Mm-hmm.
and I get that a lot. I'll go out and they'll say, yeah, my cousin's a roofer or whatever. But that's the biggest thing. Make sure that you do your homework and don't sign a contract right then and there, because that'll never work out to your favor. I can guarantee it. So
Awesome.
If they roll up in a Honda Civic with a ladder on top,
that would be,
do not sign contract.
Yeah, that'll be that too. And so, and then also, once you do find your roofer, really have that roofer talk to you about the materials and things that are going to go on that roof. Most people, they have no clue what's happening on top of that roof during the tear off and putting stuff on. They have no clue. It's like, I hate the dentist, or mechanic, I don't hate them. I don't like going to the dentist, but I always say, yeah, you have a cavity. Well, no, I don't, I can't see inside my mouth, so
Yeah.
Are you sure? Or are you just trying to get my money? But,
right.
Maybe.
That's why trust and having that endorsement and validation is really important. I believe. Got a crazy question for you, Jeremy. Being a firefighter at some point and getting on roofs, maybe going into the attics, how many times do you see fire hazards that you're able to alert the homeowner of, just because you have an eye for that?
Yeah, fire hazards, I would say not so much. One problem that we try to get into every attic before we do the roof, and the problem that is the gas lines. So per code, the gas lines are supposed to be at least 6 inches off the decking. But these builders come in, they do it so fast, it gets, through the inspection somehow, But I've seen a lot of times getting up there, those gas lines are literally resting against the decking, the wood decking. And what'll happen is once you start putting the shingles on using a nail gun, it'll shoot right through that gas line. And so,
Ooh.
and that actually happened to at my house before I was a roofer. Kind of a weird deal is summer, and our gas bill was $200 a month. And so we were trying to figure out what was going on. Well, come to find out, for 6 months, there had been gas spewing into my attic for 6 months.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And so that's something that's really important to do, to get up there and make sure that we're not going to puncture a gas line or even electrical lines too. You know, that's a hazard as well. You get in the attic and, you know, you see squirrels and rats and things love those electrical lines for some reason. But I would say the biggest concern as far as safety goes inside the attic would be the gas lines.
Okay. So, from a humor side, share the craziest roofing story that you have, whatever it may be. Anybody fall off a roof? Just something off the wall.
Okay. This is the craziest thing for me. All right. And it's another one of my house. So we,
hey man, you've had some luck at your house, haven't you?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And you'll see, this is not good luck. So my roof needed to be replaced from a hailstorm. Okay. So the guys show up about 7:00, which they normally do. I get out of bed, I grab a cup of coffee, and I had a wooden pergola in the back of my house, and they had put a ladder on top of that. And that pergola was on a high patio. So it was about 15 feet up in the air, and the guys needed a tool. And I'm sitting there, you know, in my slippers and you know, robe, you know, and I was like, with coffee, and I was like, oh, I'll go get it. So I go get the tool, and I start running this tool up the ladder, and that ladder wasn't placed correctly and was leaning up against this piece of wood. Well, as soon as I got to the top, about 15 feet up, that ladder broke the wood off. The ladder went forward and I went backwards and fell about 15 feet and actually cracked my arm. So and it was my house. So can you imagine at you know, this is
in your robe and slippers.
In your robe.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully that thing was cinched tight.
Belt flew up.
Yeah, that woke me up. Yeah, that woke me up. But the craziest thing is I'm sitting there thinking I'm about to die. And I look up for help, and all the guys are just sitting there staring at me. So I caught my breath and realized, okay, I'm not dying. And I was like, well, thanks for the help, everybody. You know, I'm going to go back inside.
Did they get the tool?
They got the tool.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And it got done.
Solved.
Yeah. But yeah.
So we got a few minutes. Go ahead, Jordan. I was just going to say we got a few minutes left. I was going to let Jordan go and get some questions in, and then let these guys tell a little bit more about their business, how to get in touch with them. But go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, I got two things. The first thing was when I think it was 5 years ago. I don't know if you guys knew. I was in a past life. I was a physical therapist assistant. I was working at a hospital in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, and I went in one day, and there was a guy I was working on who had fell off of his roof and like snapped his femur. I forget what he was doing up there. But it happened to be, if you guys know who Josh Duhamel is, famous actor, was like Transformers and a bunch of other movies. It was Josh's dad. That was the one that fell off the roof and snapped his femur. So I had the joy of working with him.
It's a crazy way to describe it.
He probably should have had a roofer taking care of whatever he was trying to do. But that was an interesting experience. Like seeing, I was in there and like Transformers commercial was running and his son was like on TV, and I was like, this is kind of trippy. And anyways, side story. But Rob, I want to see. Did you want to talk about the additional? Yeah, the additional income that agents can make by just doing what they're doing.
Yeah, so that's a big part of what we're wanting to. It's us trying to think differently, and partner with good people. And so, obviously, the people that are listening to the podcast and are in the Real Producers magazine, and they're in there for a reason. And so we want to partner with people like that so that we can help their clients. And one of the things that we thought we'd do is, we hire roofers to manage jobs and go out and get business. But the best way to do that is honestly to hire realtors. I thought about it and thought, well, what did I do? Right. We went out and started a roofing company. So now there's a whole lot more work involved in starting one. But if you're a realtor, what if you did what you have always done? No additional work at all. No, yearly insurance premium that you gotta, pay 10 grand for or whatever. None of that kind of stuff comes into play. You just simply say, we got a roof that needs to be replaced per the inspection report. And you call us, and we 1099 and call you one of our salespeople, and you make a commission for every deal that you bring to us. And so for the same thing you're already doing, you can make a side income and add that to your, what do we do? We did the numbers on this, Jordan, it seemed like. And so like if you're selling, say, 50 homes a year, and you replace 15-20% of those roofs through people kicking the can down the road, or your mom says, hey, I need to call a roofer. Who do you know? Same difference. You may not be in a real estate transaction, but you're in conversations with people. And so you, as a realtor and a producing realtor, are the best salesperson that our company could ask for. But then you don't do anything else. You don't manage the job. You don't try to jump into a business you don't know anything about. You simply pass along that information to us. We take really good care of them. They get great service, and you make money. So.
Yeah, I mean, 5 to 10 additional, roofs a year, and if you're a realtor making commission off that, I mean that, that, like you said, if you got a company that you trust, does great work, and all you gotta do is just refer to them. I mean, it's a pretty awesome concept, and so
that would fund a pretty good marketing budget, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we ran some of the potential for realtor. I mean, the average realtor does what, like 4 transactions a year? Something really. One, yeah. But that is not your audience, And so if you are a real producer, you're looking more along the lines of probably. I mean, I know our numbers are one thing, and I know that there are people within Real Producers who do probably double what I do, or more. But, if we worked on half of my business, just half of it, it would probably add another 10 grand income, to a realtor. So 10 grand, Lendon said it right. What kind of marketing could you do with 10 extra grand?
Right.
And it's a crap ton is what it is.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's great concept.
Well, I'm going to put Rob and Jeremy in a split screen here. I'm going to take Jordan and I out. You guys talk a little bit about how to get in touch with you guys about the partnership. I know we've talked about it, but just close us out a little bit with how to get in touch with you at your business, and if you're looking for a roof, if you're looking to be one of your partners, talk a little bit about that. I'll bring Jordan back in when y'all are done, and Jordan, you can close us out unless you have another question before I do that.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Who's doing this?
Yeah, I'm still big, so I guess I'll.
Yeah. I'm trying to get.
Well, so the best way to get a hold of us, I mean, we do have our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/roofingreformation. We have roofingreformation.com. Honestly, the best way though to get in touch with us I would say, is by phone. Jeremy's number is 469-236-2255. That's 469-236-2255. I see that number in the comments over on the side there. And then my number is 469-321-5201. 469-321-5201. You can call us, you can text us. If you've got a job that you want to get scheduled, that's going to be Jeremy. If you're a realtor that's interested in making some income and joining us, we're hiring. And so that would be me. You can call or text me and I'll get in touch with you. And that again is 469-321-5201. And then Jeremy, that's why he's in his truck right now. He's out. He's been 469-236-2255. And then, of course, Rob at roofingreformation.com or Jeremy at roofingreformation.com. What would you add?
I think you did it great. Yeah.
He nailed it. It.
Hey, we're taking over this show.
Y'all guys are professionals already.
We started talking about all other stuff.
Don't start talking about politics and stuff. That's not allowed on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who are you voting for?
Don't go down that road.
Yeah, that's a big old rabbit hole sometimes.
Yeah. What is your religion?
We do get into that in sports and everything else. But man, it was great meeting you guys. I love the concept. Love what you're doing. Love the name. All about it. Appreciate you guys being on the show today. Jordan, again, thanks for introducing me to them and introducing them to the difference. And hopefully our audience will get in touch with you guys and you can find some benefit of sharing your knowledge and a little bit about your company today. Jordan, what you got to say now? You want to close us out?
I'll close it out, man. Yeah. First off,
do what, Rob?
You want to close us out in prayer? That's what it says. Let's do it.
We didn't pass the plate yet. Wait a minute.
I got to break the bread. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, first off, Lendon, thanks again for putting the show together. As always, it's always a blast. You have such a great model and concept, and I love the flow and everything you do with the show. So thank you again for what you do with the difference and what we do with real producers. It's awesome. And then Rob and Jeremy, thank you guys for hopping on. For anyone who's listening, again, if you're looking for a good roofing company, Roofing Reformation, these guys, they're reputable. I love that Rob is a top producing agent. He's in our top 500, and they have a roofing business that has partnered with us, and so they know both sides very, very well, and they understand the relationship of the real estate agent to that roofing company so well. And if you're an agent, that's looking for a good, awesome roofing company and a way that you can keep doing what you're doing and make some additional money, like we talked about, 10 grand a year by doing what you're already doing, something like that or more, that's pretty incredible. And so be sure to reach out to these guys, Jeremy and Rob at Roofing Reformation. And so again, guys, thank you for being awesome partners of Real Producers and for coming on the show. Lendon, thank you guys. Everyone who tuned in, thank you. As always, I think next week we're doing a repeat or a replay, but we will see you every Thursday at 11 o'clock. So thank you guys.
Thank you.